Well, what do you know? Our great dictator is at it again. President Obama, is dropping bombs now on Syria. And I got one article from BuzzFeed, which I will get to later. But first, we're gonna dive into the Constitution. Yeah, you remember that document that they made? You know that's supposed to be like the law of the land, the number one. You know, you're not supposed to break it. Yeah, we're just gonna read some stuff here. Section 8. They have a bunch of clauses. Article 1, Section 8. They have a bunch of clauses on here that give, the powers vested in Congress. So I will read it. Section 8, Clause 1. The Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises, to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the U.S., but all duties, imposts, and excises shall be uniform throughout the United States. And then it names a bunch of things that Congress has the power to do: to borrow money, to regulate commerce. And then we go down here, and one of them is to declare war, grant letters of marque, and reprisal, and make rules concerning captures on land and water. So there you go. It has the power to declare war. And then some people are making the argument, the attack's imminent, because we'll go down to the elastic clause, the necessary and proper clause, the last clause of Section 8 of the Constitution. It says, to make all laws which shall be necessary and proper for carrying into execution the foregoing powers and all other powers vested by this Constitution in the government of the United States, or in any department or officer thereof. So basically saying, Congress has the power to declare war. And the elastic, that thing, the necessary and proper clause, basically says if you look it up, just type it into Google, stuff will pop up. They'll define it for you. It basically says Congress has, they'll summarize it for you. Congress has the power to declare laws, or declare stuff that they deem necessary and proper. So it's very unspecific. I think that's a pretty stupid part of the Constitution there, But it's because I don't agree with every specific detail of the Constitution. And if you don't, that's fine. It's the law of the land, so we should follow it. If we think it needs to be amended, then we should amend it the proper way. But anyway, it says right in there, Congress has the power to declare war. And they're like, if this threat is imminent. How is this threat imminent? What has made this threat imminent? Something has to happen to make this threat imminent. We've been hearing shit about ISIS, propaganda about ISIS for months now. What has all of a sudden made it imminent that we have to conduct airstrikes in Syria? It's like, I don't see what's so imminent about, it would be, even when they did Pearl Harbor, you're learning history. They even got congressional fucking approval before they declared war on Japan after Pearl Harbor. That's the argument I make about this. I was talking to my dad about it, and I'm like, I don't know if I said this, but I was thinking, when they bombed Pearl Harbor, they got congressional approval. FDR got congressional approval before he declared war. And ISIS hasn't even attacked us yet. No attack. So how is this any more imminent than Pearl Harbor? Pearl Harbor was the fucking, biggest event, it was a big event. Attacked, thousands of people killed. I believe it was 3,000, killed, something like that. Big event, biggest event in probably our history. Attacked on actually our, boats or whatever. And they fucking got congressional approval there. This threat is fucking 10 times less than fucking, the Nazis and Japan was, or at least, what they were hyping them as. So how is this fucking, an imminent threat? Now it would be different if, they attacked, like if fucking a country attacked, dropped a nuke on us, dropped some bomb, and that would maybe make an argument there, especially a nuclear bomb or something like that. But they haven't attacked us yet, so I don't get how it's imminent. And and here we go again with the fucking ISIS and another fucking war. And he's saying, oh, it's gonna take, a long time. It's gonna be a long war. It's like, really? And this is the same terrorist we fund. I've covered this over and over again, how we fund these terrorists. Like, we fund the so-called, I've been saying, everything I say, like, it comes true, or it gets, like, I'll say it, and then, like, the mainstream news will pick up on it. Like, remember I was saying a while back, I was hyping about, oh, World War III with Russia, this is a danger, I don't want it to happen. And then of course people are like, they're not really too afraid of it. They're telling me, don't worry. Then a plane gets shot down. There's a bunch of other skirmishes and shit, and people are getting killed. Putin says don't mess with nuclear Russia. Um, then I make a big deal about the border crisis, and I believe that the video I put up on that, it got disliked, more dislikes than likes. At least the last time I saw it, I believe it did. And then, of course, mainstream news, it comes out. Yeah, the borders are wide open. Obama's letting illegals in. It's obvious, they're just housing them and giving them a court date for 3 years, about 3 years in the future, to decide whether they're going to become an American citizen or not. And probably most of the, like, 290,000 of them won't go, and then they won't find them, so they're going to be here forever. Yeah, just yeah, I was saying that, and then it became mainstream news. Then I was saying, oh yeah, we fund ISIS, we fund Al Qaeda, we fund these various terrorist groups. And then, of course, like right now, everybody's talking about, oh yeah, our weapons are going to ISIS. Rand Paul is basically saying we fund ISIS. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Schaefer saying, yeah, moderates are ISIS. So, I mean, it's coming out now in the everything I say comes out in the mainstream news, like, after I say it. I'm not saying I single-handedly influence the mainstream news, but I just research it for myself, and I find the information out for myself. Or I listen to alternative media, which actually knows what they're doing, as opposed to like some NBC, or as opposed to MSNBC or CNN or Fox News or some bullshit media like that. So yeah, just another useless war to destabilize the Middle East, another war for the military-industrial complex, another useless war to fight people that we fund, that our allies fund. I mean, it's come out in mainstream news that our allies fund Al Qaeda. It's come out in, I believe, Senate hearings. People are just saying, oh yeah, our Arab allies fund Al Qaeda. It's obvious. Or fund ISIS. Our fucking allies fund ISIS. We fund ISIS. We fund terrorist groups. It's mainstream news. I show all the articles, mainstream news articles that say we fund Al Qaeda. And then we got this article here, this bullshit article. Not criticizing BuzzFeed or anything, but titled, I know it's a small, for some reason the title came out small on the top here. Obama administration confident no civilians were killed in Syrian airstrikes. All you gotta do is go into Google, type in civilians killed in Syrian airstrikes, and all these mainstream news articles will come out. There's reports from actually people that are there, people in Syria. There's reports from Syria, not some fucking bureaucrats in Washington or some, bullshit liars in Washington. Yeah, because, we'll just take Obama's word because he's never lied to us. And yeah, I trust you, Obama. You've never lied to us in the past, ending the word Gitmo, You've never lied to us. And, we'll just take your word, dictator Obama, Yeah, all hail dictator Obama. We'll just take his word for it. He's confident nobody was killed in Syria. How the fuck does he even know that? Like, how do you not know there was people by where you bombed. Like, what did we have people on the ground watching the bomb? I mean, come on, that is like fucking like, how can you even tell? So I mean, that just pisses me. Again, there's reports coming in from Syria. Yeah, there's like 11 civilians killed and shit like that. So I mean, this is great. Just another fucking war. Remember when people actually opposed war, and now we get all this propaganda coming in about how big a threat ISIS is. But the public's waking up. They're like one step away from grasping the fact that we fund ISIS. I don't think they'll ever grasp on, the general public will ever grasp on to the fact that we fund ISIS, we fund Al Qaeda, whatever, we fund these terrorist groups. They will never grasp on to that, I don't think, because it's just too much of a shock to them. But I think it's possible. I think we might actually, because we've taken a gigantic step from where we were like a month ago. Now we're actually exposing the fact that ISIS has our weapons. We just have to expose the fact that ISIS has our weapons on purpose. We gotta take it one step farther. So I mean, I was woken up to the fact. Anybody else can be woken up to it. So I mean, yeah, I mean, another war. Think how much money we're gonna pour into this useless war that we could be using to help, healthcare, education, poor people. Just think of all the dollars, not only that we put into the war, but what we've put into the supplies that we've given ISIS. Because we're fighting, we're supplying one side and we're supplying our side, so it's like we're giving like double the money almost. So I mean, it's just like fucking a fake war, a useless war. We fund these guys. Oh, and our borders are wide open, just wide open so ISIS can walk right in here if they please. So there you go. I mean, that's pretty much it. I'm pissed off that this has happened, and I'm glad that I'm awake though, and not some fucking guy. I see so many people like, I came across a video, in a movie. It was like Apocalypse Now, and you got fucking, they're flying. It's a Vietnam War. It's a movie. They're flying in helicopters and they're playing "Ride of the Valkyrie" song, and it's a great song. I love the song, and they're murdering an innocent village of Vietnamese people, and I see the comments like, "Oh, this is so great," and like, that's like brainwashing people right there. It's glorifying killing innocent people. Like, I just see how brainwashed people are, just endorsing the fact of Americans killing innocent people. And yeah, I mean, yeah, 11 civilians, reports said 11 civilians dying in Syria. Oh yeah, that's no big deal, but one guy gets beheaded by ISIS, we gotta start a whole fucking war over it. And they might not even have been beheaded in the first place, because there's experts that are saying the video could be staged or is probably staged. So there you go, people. Starting a fucking war, based off of propaganda. People are brainwashed, being manipulated. I'm glad I'm not manipulated and brainwashed by this corrupt government. Like, serious. Like, people sometimes even think out, like, they'll be like, hey, what kind of, I can't tell you how many people, like, ask me, what kind of music do you listen to? I'm like, I don't really listen to any garbage music. I don't listen to Miley Virus or Nicki Garbage, Lady Poo Poo. It's my nicknames I give those trashy fucking whores, like Nicki Minaj, Garbage, whatever. Like, I see people just listen to music, that's their life. Like, I don't listen to music, and I'm, like, are you crazy? No, I'm not. I'm actually paying attention to real issues in the world, not listening to some garbage musician like fucking Justin Bieber or Miley Virus. It's fucking ridiculous how these people are just idolized as gods almost and worshipped. Like, yeah, I actually research real issues, and I don't have time to listen to music. I mean, every once in a while I'll listen to something, like some WWE themes, or even "Ride of the Valkyries." I think it's a pretty cool song. I like that Darth Vader theme too. I think it's a badass song. But every once in a while. But I'm not gonna listen to fucking Miley Cyrus talk about fucking ecstasy, or fucking Nicki Minaj in this porno music video. So there you go, people. Gonna wrap this video up. Just realize the fact that we fund these terrorist groups, so it's a fucking fake war to begin with, and an unconstitutional one too. So there you go, people.